We won in the last time 50 states. Think of it. 50 states. We won every state.
By most accounts, the delusions from Donald Trump are intensifying.
You'd have millions of people alive right now if the election wasn't rigged. They'd be alive. Ukraine, Israel, the attack would have never been made. All these people would be alive. The cities would be thriving.
Trump, since he left the White House, and this is really the theme of my book, has become more detached from reality than he ever was even in the White House. Trump has become also increasingly confused about things. Sometimes he thinks that he lost to Obama in the last election. He confuses basic facts.
The country was very divided. And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. The only place I don't have a light's up here, so that means we're going to have to wing it tonight, okay?
And never mind the occasional slurring of words and cognitive decline, Trump is ratcheting up his threats.
He's talking about a campaign of revenge and retribution.
As president, I will be creating a truth and reconciliation commission to shed sunlight on every dark and rotten corner of Washington, D.C., starting with Biden.
He wants to go out and prosecute his political opponents, not just Democrats, but people that served him. John Kelly, his former chief of staff, Mattis, his former defense secretary, Bill Barr, his former attorney general.
The whole election was a lie.
He's talking about invoking the Insurrection Act on day one, using American troops on the streets of U.S. cities, something he tried to do when he was president last time, but was stopped by his own people. This would be a very radical Trump presidency, much more so than even the first one.
A few of Trump's Republican opponents, including Chris Christie, are sounding the alarm. But Trump is simply responding with name-calling and ridicule.
When Christie, sir, I'm sorry, he is not a fat pig, okay, this man? He is not a fat pig. No, it's true. And you can't use the term fat.
But despite Trump's childish style, threats, and detachment from reality, there is this.
Perhaps even more stunning, this poll in the New York Times this morning showing Donald Trump leading Joe Biden in 5 of the 6 key battleground states, including some rather large leads in Nevada and Arizona.
That's right. According to the latest polls, if a Biden-Trump election were held today, Donald Trump would win. He is slightly ahead of Biden in national polling, and Trump is significantly ahead in key battleground states. Most voters don't seem to care so much about Trump's 4 criminal cases and 91 felony counts. Instead, they are bothered by what they view as the country's direction under President Biden. And only 27% of the electorate say under Biden the country is headed in the right direction. There are other issues for Biden in terms of his age and voter perceptions about his abilities. But the bottom line is that for Democrats, in a general election matchup against Donald Trump, one of the most controversial and arguably criminal presidents in U.S. history, the Democrats under Joe Biden are in trouble. So now what? Should Democrats dismiss the polling? Should they count on voters coming to their senses and realizing that democracy is on the chopping block with Donald Trump? Well, in my view, the time has come for Democrats to break the glass on the emergency fire alarm and find another, younger, more vibrant, and more energetic candidate to save this country from Trump. Let me be clear, I like Joe Biden. I think he's a good man and a compelling and empathetic leader. He deserves hero status and the nation's eternal gratitude for defeating Donald Trump in 2020. Also, Joe Biden has created twice as many jobs in his term as Donald Trump created. Biden has led the largest U.S. economic expansion in 50 years. But you know who never seems to talk about job creation or the economy? President Biden. He now seems incapable of selling his achievements and successes against the outrageous lies and fiction coming from Donald Trump. And so the time has come to convince Joe Biden that he should go into the history books as our nation's savior by getting out of the 2024 race and by not going down as the candidate who lost the presidency and lost our democracy to Donald Trump. If California Governor Gavin Newsom or Vice President Kamala Harris or Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg or Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer loses to Donald Trump in a general election, well, at least Democrats would know that the party did everything it could to have a competitive nomination battle and field the strongest Democrat against Donald Trump. But Democrats should agree now that Joe Biden is not the strongest potential Trump opponent, and Democrats need to embrace a change before it's too late. During the summer of 2023, President Obama reportedly visited Joe Biden at the White House. There were some indications that President Obama himself urged Biden not to run, to clear the field for another Democrat and to go out a hero. Clearly, that Obama lobbying effort has not worked. President Biden is that lovable elderly relative who shouldn't be driving anymore, but refuses to acknowledge that or surrender the car. And convincing elderly people to make a change can be compelling and challenging. Well, Democrats need to take away the car keys before Joe Biden wrecks himself and crashes our democracy with a loss to Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump is leading all Republican nomination polls, and the GOP race is not close. And there is every indication Trump will be the nominee, even if he gets convicted. Trump voters simply do not care about his legal troubles. They do not care about reality, and they have said this repeatedly. Is there anything that could cause you not to support Donald Trump?
No. I mean, no, because I know that there's nothing that would come out that would make me not want to support President Trump.
So what do you make of these criminal charges and moving around to classified documents and trying to overthrow the election illegally?
Well, for one, you're talking to someone that was there on January 6th. He didn't try to overthrow the election, okay? What he tried to do was the legal way, and what actually happened was the staged coup that took place on January 6th so that they could take the electoral powers to actually certify the election. What Trump was trying to do was very legal. All these phony indictments is all going to bite the Democrats in the butt because it had to happen to Trump first. This is so that the American people can accept it for when Trump comes back, and the revenge tour is going to be the sweetest.
This is not a battle. This is not a battle of Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus liberal. This is a battle of righteous, patriotic Americans versus the depraved. I mean, this is like righteousness versus depravity.
If Donald Trump does not win, what do you do?
I hope that I'm going to die.
You want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I do. I don't want to live like this anymore. You like our country the way it is now?
You know, not only is he for America, but he can save the world.
Is there anything Donald Trump could do that would cause you not to support him?
No, nothing. Nothing.
Murder, kill, rape?
No, none of that stuff. He's not capable of any of that stuff. He is...
Well, a judge said that he raped a woman.
I don't care what the judge said. That judge is nuttier than a fruitcake.
What does never surrender mean?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear what the deep state's trying to do, you know? They're trying to throw him in jail for something he basically never did, so.
The never surrender is a little bit confusing because this is his mugshot, right?
This is his mugshot, yeah.
And he was literally surrendering when he was doing this.
Yeah. See, now you're trying to spin it.
Do we want to reward MAGA world in 2024 and ruin our democracy and our nation for good? Democrats need a new plan for defeating Donald Trump other than Joe Biden. And as much as it may pain the Democratic Party to try and convince Joe Biden to drop out, the time for Biden to gracefully exit the national political stage has arrived. By the way, Donald Trump's lawyer says the Secret Service will act as a Praetorian guard of sorts and keep Trump from going to jail.
Could they even possibly throw him in jail? What would that look like?
He's protected by Secret Service,
Sure.
period. So I always tell people when they're panicked, listen, he's protected by Secret Service, number one. Number two, he did nothing wrong.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.